Okay, so this is our last example. It's set to 0, great. And then we're going to have A being 3, B being -2, and C being 4 this time. Okay, so we write the formula. The opposite of B plus or minus B squared minus 4AC all over 2A. And this is to solve for x. This is how we're solving these equations. Okay, so the opposite of B, the opposite of -2, plus or minus, we're going to have a -2 squared minus 4 times A times C. All over 2 times A, which was 3. Okay, so now I have to do some math. Here comes the simplifying part. So the opposite of -2 is 2, plus or minus. Then I'm going to do the squaring part, which is 4, minus, and then I have 4 times 4 times 3. So 4 times 4 is 16, 16 times 3 is 48. So I would go with that, all over 6. Okay, and then I'm going to have 2 plus or minus. Okay, now here's where we have to be careful. Remember how I said that sign is important? It was a subtraction sign, and so it's 4 minus 48, which is going to be a -44. Okay? You don't get to make that positive. It's a -44, all over 6. Okay, well, because the square root is negative, that means that I'm going to have an I. So plus or minus I square root 44 over 6. But even more exciting, that 44 breaks down to 4 times 11, and I can take the square root of 4. So where does everything get written? Well, I'm going to have 2, that first 2, plus or minus, the square root of 4 is going to come out, and that's going to be 2i square root 11 all over 6. We're almost done. Okay, so there's a 2 that can go in 2 and 2 and 6. So I'm going to factor out the 2 in the numerator. And then 2 goes into 6 3 times. Now, how do they want me to write the answer? I'm not sure how they want me to write the answer. In the old days, we used to just write it like this. But I'm thinking they would rather have it written in a plus bi form, which would be 1/3 plus or minus the square root of 11 over 3i. So I'm thinking I would write it this way because it's an imaginary solution. So it's got, you can write it in a plus bi form. So I might write it that way. I might write it separately, 1/3 minus the square root of 11 over 3i, and 1/3 plus the square root of 11 over 3i. These are both imaginary solutions. And I'm going to check and make sure how the book writes it. So I did check the book. The only thing is they put the I in front, so their answer looks like this, which I don't know why. I wouldn't write it that way, but it's okay. You can see there's lots of different ways to write these things. So I'm not super picky, but it's kind of a matter of preference. I prefer it in this form because it's definitely a plus bi form, but they really wanted the I in front of the radical, I guess. So, okay.